be using this yarn, Winter King, and it's 100% acrylic. I prefer acrylic because it tends to stretch, and I'll be using a 3.5mm hook. So let's dive in. Make a loop, enter your hook in the loop, and you're going to make a chain of 40. This is, I'm working for a size small to medium. If you're working for extra large, I would suggest you chain 45 to 50. I'm working off camera, I'll meet you there. My chain is ready. I'm hoping yours is ready as well. For your measurement, you're going to do a +2, that is chain 1, 2, wrap your yarn, come into the third loop from the hook and put a half double crochet like that. Wrap your yarn, go into the next, put a half double crochet. You're going to work a half double crochet on the entire chain, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm at the end of my row 1, the last loop. Put your half double crochet, this is it, chain 1, 2, turn your work, wrap your yarn around the hook, start in the very first loop with a half double crochet like that, and continue working a half double crochet on this row until you have a total of 6 rows of half double crochet and no increases or decreases. Again, I'm at the end of my row 2. Like that, chain 2, turn your work, start from the very first loop with a half double crochet. Work this until you have a total of 6 rows. I'm going to work mine off camera. I'll meet you when I have a total of 6 rows. I'm at the end of my 6th row of half double crochet, and now we're going to start working increases. This is it. Chain 1, 2, turn your work, wrap your yarn around the hook, work in the very first loop with a half double crochet, wrap your yarn, and go back into the same loop with a half double crochet. Those are 3 half double crochets into the same loop, and continue working a half double crochet along the entire row. I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. I'm at the end of my row 1 of increases. In the last loop, you're going to work 2 half double crochets. This is 1, go back with another half double crochet. Then chain 1, 2, turn your work, work in the very first loop 2 extra half double crochets. This is 1, go back like that with a second to make a total of 3, and continue working. I'm going to meet you at the end of this row, so I'll work my row off camera. Again, I'm at the end of this row 2 of increases. You're going to work 2 half double crochets in the end row. 1, go back with another 2 like that. I hope you can notice the increase. You're going to repeat the same thing until you have a total of 7 rows of increases of half double crochet. I'm going to work mine off camera. I'll meet you when I have my 7 rows of increases. And now I'm done with my 7 rows. You can see the increases. We are going to now work chain space. Chain 1, 2, turn your work, chain 1 extra to make a total of 3, wrap your yarn, work in the very first loop because we're still working increases, and put a half double crochet like that. Chain 1, skip 1 loop into the next with a half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 loop into the next with a half double crochet. So work this until the end of the row. I'm going to meet you there to show you how to do the increase the other side. I'm getting at the end, skip 1 loop, make a half double crochet, chain 1, work in the very last loop, a half double crochet, chain 1, and go back into the same loop with a half double crochet. So that is our row 1 of chain space. Then chain 1, 2, 3, turn your work. The chain 2 is like the first half double crochet, chain 1 is the chain 1 space. Now work in the very first loop again like we did with a half double crochet. You can see that clearly. Chain 1, then skip to the next half double on top of the next half double crochet like that. Chain 1, work on top of the half double crochet, chain 1. So continue working this until the end. I'm going to show you again at the end how to do the increase, and then the rest will work off camera, and we will work a total of 5 rows. I'm at the end. I have 2 loops left, 2 chain spaces. Work in the very last loop, then chain 1 and work again in that same loop like that. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and repeat the same thing until you have a total of 5 rows of chain space half double crochet. I'll meet you when mine are complete. I'm done. I'm finishing up with my chain space. I'm on my 5th row, and our next rows we're going to be working double crochets, chain 3 actually. Turn your work, wrap your yarn around the hook, work in the very first loop with a double crochet. If you want, you can do a chain 3. If you want, you can do a chain 2. Then work in the space, a double crochet, go into the next loop, work a double crochet. So work a double crochet along the entire row. I don't want my increase to be too much, that's why I've started with only 2 double crochets. I'm getting to the end, working the chain space, and now you're going to work 2 double crochets in the last loop. This is 1, go back with the second, like that. Chain 1, 2, maybe I should maintain 2. 3 is too much for me. Work in the very first loop. That's it. Wrap your yarn, go back with a double crochet and work a double crochet along the entire row. And for this now, you're going to be putting 3 double crochets in the beginning, 2 double crochets at the end. So we are still creating our increase. I'll meet you at the end. Work a total of 9 rows. I'm done with my 9 rows of double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 2, 3. We are repeating the chain space loops that we created in the beginning. Turn your work in the very first loop with a half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 loop into the next with a half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 loop into the next with a half double crochet, chain 1, skip. So you're going to repeat the chain space we made with the half double crochets. I'm done with my 5 rows of chain space. Chain 2, turn your work, wrap your yarn around the hook and work from the very first loop with a double crochet. Wrap your yarn, go back with a double crochet. We're still on the increases, working the space, not this but the space. Double crochet, then to that on top of the half double crochet, and continue doing the same thing we did before. I'll meet you at the end of this row. So I'm at the end of my row. In the very last loop, you're going to again put 2 double crochets. This is 1. Go back with another double crochet like that. I know it's not coming out well, but it will. As you can see, it's forming. You're going to chain 2, turn your work a double crochet in the very first loop and go back with a 3rd double crochet and continue doing the same thing that we did before. Again, I'm at the end of my row 2 of double crochets. I'm going to work 2 double crochets in this last loop. Like that. So this is how our piece is looking like. We are going to join these 2 together. So hold on, turn your work like that and come in the top loop and the very first double crochet, enter your hook and pull through, make a slip stitch like that. So after this we are going to continue working a double crochet. So you're going to chain 1, 2 like that, turn your work because the other side is my working side, so the loops have to be facing me. Wrap your yarn, start in that very slip stitch loop with a double crochet, wrap your yarn and continue working a double crochet along the entire row. I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. Again, I'm getting to the end. I have one loop left. Sorry, put a double crochet, come on top of the very first double crochet, put a slip stitch to close off like that. Chain 2, turn your work and work another row of double crochet. I'm going to keep working on this double crochet until I have a total of 32 double crochets small. If you're medium, I recommend you do a total of 38. If you're large, or plus size, excuse my language, I recommend you do up to around 50 rows, considering to the length of the dress, how you want it. So I'll meet you when I have all my 32 done. I'm done with my 32 rows of double crochet. We are going to start a new stitch. This time we are working with a treble crochet or a triple crochet, whichever version you like to call it. So you're going to enter your hook into the loop, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to double wrap your yarn around the hook, and we're working in this loop. Wrap your yarn twice around the hook, enter in that same loop where that first stitch is, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 3. So that is our treble or triple crochet. Chain 1, wrap your yarn, double wrap your yarn around the hook, enter into the same loop again with pull a triple crochet, wrap your yarn, double wrap your yarn, enter again in the same loop with a triple crochet. So that is the whole thing. Then we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. We're working in the 5th loop with a triple crochet. Sorry, double wrap your yarn, skip 4 loops into the 5th, work a triple crochet, 1, 2, and last round, double wrap your yarn, go back into the same loop with a triple crochet, then chain 1, double wrap your yarn, go back into that same loop with a triple crochet, wrap your yarn, double wrap, go back with a triple crochet. So that's the whole thing you're going to do on this row. You skip 4 loops, you work in each loop 2 triple crochets, chain 1, go back with 2 triple crochets, skip 1, 2, 3, 4 loops, work into the 5th with the same stitch or pattern until the end of this row. So I'm going to work mine off camera and I'll meet you at the end. I'm on my last. I'm going to slip stitch it to the very first chain 3 we made, enter in the 3rd loop of that chain 3, slip stitch, chain 1, get your scissors and cut off the yarn. We are working on the back of the dress, so make a loop, come on that first double crochet on top of where you did a slip stitch, enter your hook in both and in the loop you've created, slip stitch, you're closing it off, then chain 1, 2, 3. You're going to hold on to your last stitch on the chain 3, chain, and then 1 2 3, that one, then chain 1, sorry, 2, wrap your yarn, go back in that third loop where you held and put a double crochet, then chain 1 2, turn, start from the very first loop. You see how it is, put a double crochet. You're going to work a total of 4 double crochets, then go into the next, put 2 double crochets. We are working an increase, so chain 2, turn your work, wrap your yarn around the hook, enter in the very first loop with a double crochet, then work a double crochet, then in this last loop you're again going to put 2 double crochets. Sorry, this is our first. We have another one like that. You can see the increase, it's evident, or it's vivid. Chain 1 2 3. Now we're going to work a triple crochet, double wrap your yarn around the hook, enter in the very first loop with a triple crochet or a treble crochet, and double wrap, sorry, your yarn and work along the entire row with a treble crochet. I have 2 treble crochets left. This is 1, and go back with the last one to create the increase. Sorry, add an extra loop. So you know how we did the first increase with the double crochets on the chest area. You're going to keep doing the same thing, but while working a treble or triple crochet stitch. For small size, you're going to work to a total of 15 rows, 12 to 15 rows. To someone who is medium, I recommend you work around from 15 to around 18 rows, and if you're plus size, I recommend you do around 18 also to 20 rows. But please use your measurements, because we have different body types, we have different yarn types we are using, different hook sizes, so don't follow exactly what I'm using. If you have different, please use your measurements. I'll meet you when I have my 15. So I'm done with my 15 rows, and now we're going to first clean up this back before we attach it to the front. We are cleaning these areas. So you're going to work a half double crochet, so chain 1, sorry, chain 2, wrap yarn around the hook. In each treble crochet, you're going to work 3 half double crochets like that. So I'm going to work my half double crochets so I'm getting to the end. In this double crochet row, if you remember them, there were around 2 to 3, I think. You're going to be putting 2 half double crochets, this that and that. So work 2 half double crochets. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side of this back area. I will work mine off camera. Then put 2 in this chain 3 that we made. That is 3 half double crochets. And you're going to slip stitch in the loop that holds the chain 3. Slip stitch, chain, cut off the yarn. So you're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll work mine off camera. I'm done. I'm going to attach this to that. I'm going to chain 10 for small. If you're medium, I recommend 12 to 14. And plus size, I recommend 15 to 17. So I'm done. I'm going to attach it to this first loop of our chest area or neck area. Enter, and make a enter and make a slip stitch like that. Then chain 1 and cut off the yarn. You're going to work this same thing on the other side here. So I'll meet you when mine is ready. So I'm done. Now we're going to clean up around the arm area. So chain 1, we are using a single crochet like that. In each row, remember we had the first 6 rows, they were of half double crochet. So in each double crochet you're going to put 2 single crochets. And in each double crochet you're still going to put 2 single crochets like that. I've reached this area where I worked my back. You're going to go in that below loop, put a single crochet, and continue working a single crochet. You're going to just rotate completely to where you started from. I'm done rotating with my single crochet. Now I'm going to put a slip stitch in the very first single crochet like that. Slip stitch in 2 more loops to lock off this part, make a chain and cut off the yarn. So our cleanup is done. I'm going to do on this other side as well, but I'll do it off camera. I'll meet you when I'm done. So I'm going to go on the chest meshes and attach the bead. You can put the beads the way you want. So I'm going to do this to avoid making this video really long. So I'm going to speed up this process and I'll meet you when I'm done. So this is how I've worked my chest area. I have a few left, and I worked on the shoulder like that. I have a few left here. I'm also going to speed it up, and I'll meet you when I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to clean this part and then meet you. So now we are going to work on a string, make a loop. This string is going to be our waist string. Insert your hook. I needed to double my yarn because I wanted it thicker. So work on a loop. I'll meet you when mine is done. Make it as long as you want. I'm done with my string. I'm going to pass it through my waist. So turn the back, pick the very first row of double crochet, insert your hook, insert your hook and start passing your string. Just keep skipping 2 double crochets. I'm going to speed up this part. 2 double crochets each. I'm going to meet you when I'm done. I'm done with my string. Our dress is almost ready. Now I'm going to work on the fringe. So I'm going to improvise with this box, and I'm going to rub to be able to cut my fringes that I'm going to use on the dress. I want them to be equally sized. That's why I'm using the box. My fringes are ready. Now we're going to start attaching them to our dress. But you forgive me, I'm trying to keep up with time. I'm going to work this. I'm going to speed up this part. These are the loops you'll be using. So this is our first row of the fringe. So we'll fill this entire row, and I'll work on the upper row as well because I want it bulk. So I'm trying to show you both so that I just work off camera. That will be your second row of the fringes. Our dress is ready. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I can't wait to see your versions of this dress. Thank you guys for being my biggest support. I love you guys. Bye bye.